Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka Man of the People. I earned that title. I love that title, and I work to make sure that I earn that and bring you all a lot of good content, which we're going to go over tonight. I know it's late, probably surprised a few of you, but guess what? This season, Andre, Patrick, myself, fully committed to being the best resource for Carolina Panthers news. But we are independent, smaller media, and I'm always transparent and personable with y'all. That baby on the way sometimes delays me from being able to get on. It's not here yet. She's not here yet, I should say. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and get into it since it is a little later than normal for our broadcast. Got a few things that we're going to be going over tonight. One will be the obvious listed in the title, Austin Corbett and his return. The other thing will be a tweet that I did earlier this week. I wanted to certainly get on video and talk a little bit more in depth about that. And then the other thing will be the injury report. A few other things that I may touch on as well, such as the trade rumors and on acquiring a wide receiver and what to do with Brian Burns. But it'll just depend on what you guys want to talk about tonight. We'll try to have a nice show. Let's see. Mason, YouTube, I'm first. All right. Hey, Mason, appreciate you being first. Welcome to the channel. I said, everybody hit that thumbs up, please. Hey, we are still trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. Part of what we're doing. I know a lot of people have had some misery this season, ready to pack it up, but we're going to do our best to keep you entertained and cheering on the Carolina Panthers. We are giving away merchandise of the Carolina Panthers each and every week, whether they win, whether they lose. You can count on coming to this channel. There's a link right now in the description that tells you how to win this week's merchandise, which is a jacket. And also, this month in October, we're going to be giving away a Bryce Young jersey. Okay, so you want to stay tuned. I don't think we can do any more than that to help fans out during this tough time, let you know we're in it together. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ready to jump into it. I see some more people have joined on. Donald Ducks jumped in. Fort Moore has jumped in. Let's go ahead and get started. I hope my voice doesn't act up. Give me 1 second. Let's go ahead and jump into some things that we have today. Let's go ahead and start with this injury report, which is a mile long. Free safety Xavier Woods. This is not a surprise when he got injured last week. Coach Frank Wright talked about it's probably going to be a couple of weeks. So no surprise here with this first one. Xavier Woods did not practice today. Second one, not that big of a surprise either. It's going to be outside linebacker Justin Houston having some rest. So he had a vet day, so he'll be coming off that list. Let's go ahead and go through a few more. We have linebacker Claudin. Man, I can't say that name. I wish Andre was on with me right now, but he was limited in practice with his ankle. Cornerback Dante Jackson, limited in practice with his shoulder. Linebacker Frankie Louvu, limited in practice with his hip. I didn't get a chance to ask Coach Wright this question, but I'm feeling like with this being such a long list and a lot of these guys being limited in practice, that they're taking a really cautious approach with these guys because they got, let's be honest, their next two games, extremely tough, extremely uphill. Everything that they can do to say the guys that we do now have that are active and able to go out there, let's make sure we, take as much care of them as possible, but not beating up their bodies during the week so they can be available on Sunday. We got the Detroit Lions coming up this Sunday. Very tough matchup, followed by traveling down to Miami for that game against the Dolphins. Nevertheless, let's continue to work through this list. Linebacker Frankie Louvu, limited in practice with his hip. Tight end Giovanni Ricci, limited in practice with a shoulder. Running back Miles Sanders, limited in practice with his groin. Defensive tackle Deshaun Williams, limited in practice with the elbow. Guard Austin Corbett is now going to appear on this injury report because he is now back in that window to be activated. So once he comes off that list, if he's dealing with any kind of injuries, he needs to be in a report. Very shortly here, I'm going to share with you a little clip of me talking with him today in the locker room. So continue to move on. tight end Stephen Sullivan. Also, guys, been now off that unable to practice list. I forget the exact list, but he's now able to practice, which now means he's on the injury report. Tight end Stephen Sullivan limited in practice today with a hip. I see a question here about J.C. Horn back this week. Nope. J.C. Horn is not back this week. He's not been talked about, so no updates on him. So that's your injury report for today. I wasn't able to get in the locker room last week, and I was able to get there today. And I tell you, being in that locker room, hold on 1 second, guys. Got to clear my throat. Did not bring my water up. It was good to be back into the locker room. You know, when you're in the locker room, you're able to talk with some guys, start to get some good information. And today was one of those days. Lots of fun being back in there. Again, I'm about to play the clip with Austin Corbett. And even after being in the locker room today, leaving the stadium, ran into a former defensive lineman and got a chance to talk with him for a while. So locker rooms are always a good journalist's best friend as you're able to build some relationships and get some information that helps us do our job a lot better with some good details. But nevertheless, let's go into this Austin Corbett interview. I had a chance to ask him about this journey with the recovery and now getting back on the field. Pretty interesting answer that he gave me. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you right here.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's truly hit me yet. It's like talking about it with my wife at home last night, and she's definitely more nervous than I am, right? Just 'cause, like, she's had to carry this whole burden this whole time, and I've been doing my work. I know what my body feels like. I know where I'm at. So it'll be good just to get done practice, be able to call her, and she's like, it's okay. You can relax. Yeah.
So I like that, right? I like the family man response from the guys. Like, it's really, how with my wife? He said he hadn't processed everything yet, so new. So I'll follow up with Austin. Maybe this week. I'm not sure if I'm going to get a chance to get exactly back in the locker room this week. But, you know, he says he's going to work through some things. Right now it's kind of like his training camp, not going to rush things. He was out there today doing drills, and he was limited in practice. So it's good to see him back. He certainly seems very happy to be back. Bryce Young talked about, even though Austin has not been able to practice, you would not be able to tell if you just eavesdropped and came into one of their meetings. Very focused during those meetings, contributing during those meetings, teaching other people where he can during those meetings. So Bryce Young is looking forward to Austin returning to this team as well. But everybody wants to say, hey, you know, come back as you are really ready to come back. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this tweet here that I had this week. Tweet I did a couple days ago was about comparison charts that I put out there for Andy Dalton and Bryce Young. For me, it was one of those things where a tweet, I can't go into all the scenarios and all the inferences on what those charts meant, but I feel like most people really got it. And I'll tell you, if you're a person that feels like everything has to be apples to apples for a comparison, then you might as well, stop watching the video now, because you will win the argument that it's not a complete 100% apples to apples. Barring you're that kind of person, these charts really, in my opinion, give you a strong indication that there's a different playbook that's being called for when Andy Dalton was back there than there was for Bryce Young. For me, as I continue to watch, Bryce Young is improving. Bryce Young is doing well, but it's within what he's been given the opportunity to do well. That's not enough. It's my wish is that this team would give him more of an opportunity to open up this playbook. And I'm not going to rant too much because it's late and I need to get to bed for tomorrow. But let me tell you, in my opinion, this guy was highly talked about by this coaching staff, by everybody, head coaches, coordinators, other positions. And I forget the exact words, but I know early on talked about how Bryce was involved with meetings that not just many quarterbacks have been in the league that they're not involved in terms of planning plays and concepts and things like that. So to me, it just said that there's a lot of confidence in Bryce. He has a lot of good skills. He's a very smart guy. And I put these charts out there and said, are they giving him the best opportunity to win? And I feel like not yet. Not yet. So let me go ahead and show you these charts that I have out here for you. And again, we'll talk about it and we'll move on from it. Okay. I certainly hope that with the attention being brought to it, that there'll be some change, that there'll be some improvement. I know Bryce is a rookie, so you don't want to hand him over the keys, but I think it's time to hand him over the car with a half tank of gas. Give him some more options to be him. So let's go ahead and take a look at these charts, which I feel are pretty good at revealing what has been going on with this Carolina Panthers team. Peeling it back a little bit more, I don't know if Frank Wright needs to give up play calling to Thomas. I know that's highly talked about. I don't know if a head coach when you do that as a head coach, I can't complete my thought yet, but I just don't feel like that's about that. I feel like he just needs to trust Bryce Young a little bit more. Hey, let me put this one out there because I love this comment. Lord Bezeldorf, you're the best, Chris, man of the people. Mason, I love your videos. Yeah, so appreciate the feedback. And even if it's not all positive, we are here 100% committed to working for viewers of our channel. So if there's something that you need to say to us, let me know. All right, let's go ahead and look at these things. So the first thing I'm going to show to you here is the chart for Andy Dalton when he was quarterbacking against the Seattle Seahawks. So again, if you're a purist about apples to apples, you might as well tune out now. But otherwise, this, for the casual viewer, the person that understands that things can't be completely apples to apples, I think this is a pretty good indication about the differences in the game plan with Bryce and Andy. Also, different defensive scheme that Seattle ran versus what the Minnesota Vikings ran. Yes, I know that. Dalton had almost 60 pass attempts. Bryce had half of that. Yes, I know that. But to me, there's still a story that you can get out of looking at this chart. So here we go. This chart right here, these shows his pass attempts, whether it was incomplete, whether it was completed, interception, touchdown, and how far it went. You can see here, there's dots on the left side of the field, middle of the field, most of his dots on the right side of the field. But even with the dots on the right side of the field, they go from line of scrimmage to 5 yards to 10 yards to 15 yards to even 20, 30 yards down the field. There is a lot of variety here for Andy. But most importantly from this, what I will like to point out is that let's just count the number of pass attempts that were beyond 20 yards. Start from the left. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There were 7 pass attempts beneath 20 yards. All right? So let's remember that. Let's then, and this is, I'm going to take my time with this, and because I want everybody to see, I couldn't put all this into a tweet. I just said, do you think it's giving him the best chance? So let's continue to move. Let's look at, oh man, it looks like, okay. Phew, I almost thought I didn't do it right. Bryce Young's chart. Now, I'm just going to, again, focus on the pass attempts that were 20 yards or more. There are absolutely zero attempt beyond 20 yards. It looked like he might have hit one for about 19 yards and then another for about 18 yards. But even if you give him those, and they were kind of close, the rest are 15 yards or shorter. Okay? Now, you could say, well, Bryce chose to make those passes. Maybe there was somebody going deep and he just elected not to hit him, or they're blitzing him. You can still, when there's a zero blitz, you can still throw the ball deep. Not saying it had to be completed, not saying it should have been touchdowns all day, but Bryce knows if there's a zero blitz, meaning there's no safety, middle of field's open, everybody's pretty much man up, and then you got a lot of guys coming. There's still a part of the field that is extremely vulnerable. That is the center of the field. You can run a post, you can do a seam, you can do many things. But certainly you could attempt at least one. There was none. All right, let's go and look at another thing that I want to present to you to further show that there's a difference here. Because the first one was just where he attempted to throw the ball. Let's see where the guys were running. I got one player that I singled out from week 3 and one player that I singled out from week 4. Seeing some of the comments come, appreciate you all very, very much. Hit the like button if you haven't already done so. If you have not subscribed and you're watching the channel, please help us reach 10,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button. And we're giving away merchandise every week to help us grow and to give you free stuff while this team is going, well, hopefully like this at least at some point. But right now we're going just like this, okay? All that is in the description. Adam Thelen was very involved in Seattle and very involved here in the game in Minnesota. Let's take a look at the routes that he ran both of those weeks. All right, so let's go to Adam Thelen in Seattle. These are the routes that he ran. This doesn't mean he got the ball or not. I'm not going to focus on it, even though this chart does indicate that. Just Adam Thelen alone, his route tree. Soak it in. Again, this is week 3 in Seattle. He ran routes beyond 20 yards 1, 2, 3 times, and he got a touchdown right at about the 18-yard mark. I'm going to mention that one because I mentioned it for the last one when he had about 18 yards. So again, Adam Thelen, 1, 2, 3, beyond 20, and I actually looks like about 2 close to 20. So that's almost 5 routes for Adam Thelen. We don't have to go through all the other wide receivers. I'm going to continue to say, again, if you're a purist and want me to have exact charts and details for every single player, every single route and all that, I'm not going to do it. I don't think it's necessary to get the gist of acknowledging there is a difference in the play calling and the opportunities to advance the ball and have explosive plays than there were for one quarterback than there was for the other. Let's go to Adam Thelen this week, or last week I should say, versus the Minnesota Vikings. Now on this chart here, you will see that Adam ran deep on one play. And most of that was yards after the catch. So I wish I had a little thing here. So I'm going to go back to this one here. So I'm going to correct myself a little bit because I'm sorry. One of his plays that Adam ran was, a lot of it was yards after the catch. But if you go back and I modify this, you still have 1, 2, beyond 20, and 1, 2, just shy of 20. So you have 4. And then you go to last week versus the Minnesota Vikings. He did not have any routes beyond 20 yards. 0. He had one route that went just beyond 15 yards. The rest of his routes, shorter. So that's a big difference. Shorter. This is just the route. It's not saying he caught the ball on all these, even though he did on a lot of them because he's been the favorite target the past couple of weeks. He is not even running routes that deep. So if you don't run a route deep, how can Bryce throw the ball deep? Zero blitz or not, you can have some routes and things run to give them. And I'm not saying that it should be 20 deep passes. I'm not saying it should even be 5. But when you went from Andy's attempted 7 to Bryce's attempted 0, what's going on? Something is not altogether jailed, right? New coaching staff, a lot of good big names in the coaching staff, a lot of superstars that we've all been referring them to. Are they still taking a little bit of time to gel? Because let me play one more clip for you about why I feel like there's just something that needs to be cohesive a little bit more. Let me see if this is the right clip. Hopefully it is. I'm going to share this with you. Ah, boy. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Looks like I have deleted it. Did I delete it? I think this is it right here. Hopefully this is. Let me see.
What we're looking for offensively is to build upon what we did well last week.
Okay. So watch closely. If you have your offensive coordinator saying what he wants to do, and then it doesn't happen anywhere near that, why? So let's play that clip.
We're talking about specifically some of the plays being made. What we're looking for offensively is to build upon what we did well last week. We're talking about specifically some of the plays being made down the field with the explosive pass game, had 5 of those. Also, the no turnovers was a huge deal, but also gearing up for a coordinator who is, I would say, unconventional when it comes to how he calls the game. Heavy pressure packages, having 0 answers. So,
okay. So there was Coordinator Brown saying, we have 5 explosive plays. We want to build upon that. We had no turnovers. We want to build upon that. He can't control the turnovers, right? Bryce is the one that actually throws the ball. But I get it. That's what he wants to improve upon. But if he was saying to us last Thursday, this is what we want to build upon, 5. Okay, build upon 5 would be anything. I could say 1 is continue that. We did 0. How do you have an offensive coordinator saying we need to build upon our explosive plays and then you get to 0? So that's my tweet explained. That's the reason why I put the chart up there. Thank you all so much for tuning in and for watching. Love being man of the people. I will continue to bust my butt and get as many answers for things as I can, provide as much insight as I can. I just ask that you do me one favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already subscribed, register to win some of our free merchandise. And before I get out of here, let me touch on a few of these comments here. Donald Duck says, Bryce is a rookie. The wide receivers can't get open, and when they do, they can't catch the ball. So they have been more open than they were at the beginning of the season. Yeah, beginning of the season it was pretty bad, but they are getting open, and you know some of it is not single to the coaches. So I don't want to say 100% is the coaches, but the play calling would help things out for sure. Line blocking could help some of that things out as well. And I'm sure there's one more comment I might get through really quick. Ali Broderick, appreciate the welcome back. Oh, I haven't mentioned this at all during the video. You can now join our channel. People that join our channel get a special badge by their name. Make sure that we always comment on you when you come onto the channel. We'll follow you back on social media and just always give you a big welcome when you sign on to the channel. So if you haven't subscribed, if you have not joined, something that you can consider doing, and we appreciate very, very much. Josh Schultz says the urban outdoor. Wow, that's a long name. Chart say it all, even with Chark. Yeah, I didn't put up his chart, but you're right. I like this comment, Lord. Good golly, someone got to send this video to the. It's clear as day, and anyway, I just want to enlighten. I just want to. There's some things that need to be solved there. I'm not saying it's going to automatically mean that we have victories, because it's more than one thing that's a part of what's nagging this team, but you certainly could get excited about, well, what could this open up if we did open things up for Bryce? You know, this week we could likely have Chark back. I mean, Chark on the field, Marshall on the field, and Mingo and Thelen. You know, last week Marshall even though he didn't really get the ball downfield, he did make some improvements with getting on the field, getting some catches. Mingo runs extremely hard after the catch, which is great. Chark has the ability to break downfield for some nice receptions. I actually talked with Chark today, so that video is going to be revealed to you guys soon as well. But the way Chark talked about how he gets open for a deep ball, I'm like, hey, I know there's a certain way that he plays the deep ball. And today, when I spoke to him, he explained in more depth about how he goes for his deep ball. And it works. It works. It's been working for us. Let me see. It's late. I'm not going to make this an hour-long video. I'm passionate about what I do in covering this team, so I hope you all really appreciate it. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. Appreciate all the thumbs up. Appreciate the likes. Based on how I've been receiving feedback, I think I will start doing a video as much as I can. I can't say it's going to be once a week, but as much as I can, looking at some charts, breaking down some stats, and also sharing against the information that I have in terms of my observations of this team, just to keep you all informed. So if you like that, leave a comment. Again, I work for you all, independent media, 100% supported by you all, so I really do listen to what you say and what you want to hear, and just ask that you help spread the word about us, okay? Chris Jenkins reporting for Charlotte Vibe. Everybody have a good evening.